I smelled it before I saw it. Gasoline and something worse. The scent of a life turning to smoke. That was the night my world went dark. When I left for deployment, I promised Emma I'd come home safe. I never imagined coming home to her cry for help echoing inside a burning house. After the sirens faded, all that was left was silence and questions. The investigators said arson, the neighbors said Karen, but the truth was buried in smoke and shame. Emma survived, barely, and our unborn daughter clung to life behind hospital glass. Every beep of those monitors felt like a countdown I couldn't control. Detective Chen told me to let the law handle it, but soldiers don't wait for permission to protect their own. I'd spent years making peace in places the world forgot, and now the war had followed me home. Every piece of evidence pointed to Karen Mitchell, the HOA president who fined us for planting wildflowers and smiled as she handed out violations. But there was something off in her eyes, fear rather than fury. Then the message came, "You of all people should know. Revenge leaves everyone burning," followed by a blurred photo showing 2 sets of footprints leading away from the ruin of our porch. I couldn't sleep. Training kicked in, observation, patience, entry, and at 2 a.m. I found myself inside the HOA office. The smell of toner and stale coffee made my hands tremble harder than any battlefield. Files and invoices covered the desk until I found a manila envelope with my name on it. Inside lay an old unit photo from Kandahar and a red ink warning, "One of them never forgave you." That night came rushing back, the mission that wasn't supposed to exist. The raid on an illegal weapons depot run by a contractor called Falcon. Intel said he'd died in the explosion we caused. Apparently Intel was wrong. My phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Stop digging, SEAL. You already buried me once." The text ended with my address. I needed answers, so I called Karen. She met me behind the community center, a silhouette under buzzing lights, and handed me a flash drive, her voice shaking as she said, "He told me to keep an eye on you, said you were dangerous." I didn't know what he planned. I opened the file. Grainy footage of someone moving through the shadows of our home, night vision glare, tactical vest, steady hands pouring accelerant. When the figure turned, the camera caught the scar across his right eye. Falcon, alive, living under a new name, Michael Hartman. Emma had hired him last month to install our new security system. He'd walked through our rooms, smiling, knowing every exit and every blind spot. I tracked him to an unfinished housing development where wind howled through half-built frames and the air smelled of rain and concrete. He waited for me. "You cost me everything," he said calmly. "My men, my money, my face. You burned my life, Jake, so I burned yours." We circled each other like ghosts of the same fire. He drew first. I moved on instinct. The struggle was brutal. Mud, metal, thunder echoing like distant mortars, until silence fell and his gun skidded across the floor. My hand reached it first. "Do it!" he taunted. "Be the soldier again." I looked at him and saw every face that never came home, every mistake that survived me. My finger trembled, then released. "No," I said, "I'm done being your war." The sirens found us. When they cuffed him, he laughed, as if losing were part of his plan. Even in chains, he'd taken something I could never replace, Falcon confessed. Karen walked free but never held her head high again. Emma survived, scarred but alive, and our daughter was born early. We named her Hope. Detective Chen told me justice doesn't always feel clean. It just stops the bleeding. Months passed. The lot where our house once stood stayed empty, fenced off like a wound. Some nights I parked nearby, engine off, listening to the crickets, picturing the porch swing, her laughter, the hum of a lullaby through an open window. The smell of smoke still visits when it rains. Maybe memory is the longest fire of all. Emma says I stare at flames too long now, and she's right. Because when I do, I see both endings, the one that burned and the one that still glows inside what's left of us. Last week we broke ground on a new house, same soil, same sky. Before the concrete was poured, I knelt and pressed a single white rose into the dirt. They say you can't escape your past. But maybe if you plant it deep enough, it grows into something new. To anyone who's ever lost everything, remember, survival isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of what you build next. These were the ashes of my home,